Greetings, exalted ones.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Noisy Boy here, and I'm back with another Star Wars Battlefront 2 video, or hero guide I should say, and in today's one I'm going to show you guys how to not suck with Darth Maul. But before we get started guys, there's a few things. Remember to smash the like button and support my channel, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe because I love to hear your feedback and your comments in the comment section below. Now usually I like to break these up into different sections like weapons, base traits and movements, usually a little bit about his abilities, and usually the star cards are the makeup that I usually use for Heroes vs Villains and Galactic Assault, and then my own personal strategies and tips and tricks that I usually use when I'm fighting on the battlefront guys. So just remember, sit back, relax, take it in, because we're about to make some noise.
I sense your fear.
Enter the Sith Assassin. Once an apprentice to one of the most powerful Force wielders in history, Darth Maul has quickly become a fan favourite, and in Star Wars Battlefront 2 I think he embodies all those traits of the menacing red and black assassin we all know and love. Whether you're new to the game or a veteran of sorts, Darth Maul can dominate Heroes vs Villains and Galactic Assault with minimal skill required. Of course, Darth Maul comes with his very iconic double-bladed red lightsaber, made famous in Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, which easily destroys normal infantry in 2 to 3 hits. Although considered not a very powerful weapon in terms of damage per strike, his speed and efficiency gives him the ability to strike quickly and mercilessly, cutting down any hero with ease. Now let's just have a quick chat about his base traits and movement. Darth Maul starts with a generous 700 health, which is pretty good in terms of health for any hero or villain, and due to his force infused jumps and sprinting, Darth Maul is probably the quickest villain, if not the quickest hero or villain in the game. His ability to cross maps at speed combined with his high and far force jumps makes him an ideal villain for beginners who are just starting out in the Heroes vs Villains game mode. Unfortunately, Darth Maul doesn't have a blocking mechanic which forces you to get in close range, which Maul excels at pretty much. Alright guys, let's talk about abilities. Maul, like any other hero or villain, has 3 abilities: Furious Throw, Chokehold and Spin Attack. We'll start with Furious Throw. Maul furiously throws his lightsaber across a certain distance and uses the force to make a return to his side. Like Darth Vader, Maul's saber throw is a great way to initiate an assault on poor unsuspecting troopers or to finish off a fleeing hero. I recommend throwing your saber before you engage in battle to weaken your opponent and give yourself the advantage to start with. The saber is thrown vertically, so aiming it can be difficult at times, and you can also enhance the length of the throw, and its damage through star cards. Next up, we'll talk about Chokehold. Maul reaches out with the force and chokes his opponents and throws them across the room violently. In Heroes vs Villains, this ability can be used to throw heroes off ledges on maps like Kamino or Kashyyyk, which can be very satisfying, and in Galactic Assault used to clear rooms and knock troopers off their feet for an easy kill. Certain star cards can be used to increase the area of the grab and the length you can send your opponents, but be aware of the short animation because you'll be vulnerable for a short time, so use this only when you're safe to do so. And last but not least, Spin Attack. Maul uses his speed and a saber in a spinning motion to attack his opponent. It is also a good way to cover distance. An excellent way to close the gap between you and your prey. I usually use Spin Attack to spin past an opponent, then hit them with a chokehold, and then another Spin Attack just to close that distance really quick, and then wail down on them for the kill. And with the right star cards, you can actually use this twice before its initial cooldown. But just be aware that this cooldown will take longer, and it is also a great way to catch fleeing heroes for the win. Pretty good abilities there. Pretty good across the board too. As you can see, he's all attack and no defense, but that is like all Darth Maul in a nutshell. Alright guys, let's move on to star cards. When it comes to star cards with Darth Maul, I found that you don't even really need star cards with him. I've been able to dominate the battlefield on Heroes vs Villains and Galactic Assault without even using star cards. And you know, to be honest, he's probably the only hero or villain where he doesn't even need star cards to be a solid player in general, which is why I think he's a good player for beginners. But if you want to know what I run, I usually go with accelerated throw. Darth Maul flings his furious throw more violently, making it deal more damage, and at epic level, or maxed out I should say, it takes an extra 30 damage off. So if you're pretty confident with your aiming with his throw, pick that one up, and it's always good to deal that extra damage. Next up, I usually use a flow motion. Darth Maul can do one extra spin attack, but the recharge rate is slightly slower, and when you max this one out, it's only an extra 10% longer, which is really bugger all. Next up, I usually use a lightsaber defense, which is probably what you should be using in Galactic Assault and Heroes vs Villains. Darth Maul receives less damage from blasters, and when that's maxed out, it's 16% less, which isn't that high, but it all counts in the end. Now, if you're not too happy with flow motion, if you think that it takes too long to recharge, you can always pair this one up with Fool Me Once, which the recharge rate is fast for all Darth Maul's abilities, and when that's maxed out, it's an extra 10%. So if you can max this out, and you can max this one out, your spin attack is 10% less, but if you max this out, it recharges 10% faster, so pretty much just normal recharge for doing 2 spin attacks. But if you're pretty confident with your throwing and you want to go accelerated throw coupled up with range throw, you can actually furious throws further, which you can actually couple these two up in Galactic Assault, which is a pretty good combination just there. Also special mentions to frantic strikes, which are melee strikes that drain less stamina, and at 12% at max. It doesn't sound like much, but like I said before, it does the job. Especially with unrolled grip, you know, chokehold has an increased area of effect. That's pretty good. I just found that his area effect for chokehold already isn't too bad, so I don't usually pick it up. But as you can see here, I haven't really done much with his cards. I've only got green level on these two, and I'm still white level on this one. But you know, I've been able to dominate with just using these 3 itself, and it's not even maxed out. Well, anyway guys, that's my star card setup that I usually use, and I usually use this setup here for both Galactic Assault and Heroes vs Villains. But yeah, hopefully that will help. So let's move on to strategies and tips. Now let's just have a quick chat about my personal strategies and tips. In Heroes vs Villains, Maul's well-rounded abilities make him the most player-friendly of all the villains in my opinion. So using his chokehold to send heroes off ledges is an easy kill, and using his spin attack to close the gap, then wailing down on a hero is a very effective and simple technique. But if you put it against 2 or more heroes, letting out a chokehold to buy yourself time to escape or regroup with other villains is the difference between a good player and a great player. In Galactic Assault, sweeping the flanks around the outsides of a big map and surprising unsuspecting troopers can help your team push on objectives while picking off stragglers along the way. But when it comes to close quarters combat, throwing your saber can help, but using chokehold is the best bet to push and destroy. But try to avoid corridors, as a group of 4 or 5 troopers can easily overwhelm Maul, and since he has no blaster deflection, your time with him will be cut short very damn quickly. Well, there you have it guys, pretty much Darth Maul in a nutshell. Hopefully this did help, and if it did, just remember to smash the like button and support my channel. You have to remember too that this could be subject to change since they're doing patches left, right and center, especially with the patch 1.2. Something like 90% of the heroes got buffed or nerfed, so again in the future this might become outdated, but right now it seems to be pretty good. Well anyway guys, just like I said before, if you did like it, remember to smash the like button and support my channel. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe, because I'd love to hear your feedback and your comments in the comment section below. And if you have other tips that I missed or something like that and you want to share with the group, chuck it in the comments, because I'd love to hear your strategies and your own tips and even your own star card setups and all that kind of stuff. Throw it in the comment section and hopefully we can learn off each other and become even better force wielders. Well anyway guys, I might just leave it there, so please, if you did enjoy this, remember to smash the like button and support my channel, because I am your esteemed host, Noisy Boy. Thanks for coming on by, and as always guys, stay noisy.
Now, at the end, do you understand?